I will admit that today's topic is very, very controversial. But I take it on because of all of the years that I worked in both domestic violence reduction, interpersonal violence reduction with children, and also working forensics, picking up bodies, and studying the violence, looking at the faces of the dead, and helping to speak for them when no one else would. So I ask you, if every Black life matters, why are there no protests for the women that are murdered by their partners? In Minneapolis alone, there were 29 murdered in 1 year alone. In the past decade, more than 500. Scream out for justice. And yet, they are so devalued in the Black culture that they celebrate criminals who beat up women before they consider doing anything to stand up for or to be the ones to say no more. No one in that culture will ever say, no more will you do this. And the same with the murder of the children by so-called stray bullets in the neighborhood. For what? Did someone's pet bullet break the leash and start running through the neighborhood? But so many people have bullets that look just like that one. They didn't know whose stray that was. It had no ID. It had no tags on this little bullet, just nosing around this area, getting into everyone's garbage, trying to get into all the houses, as a little stray bullet will do. But inevitably, that little stray finds a sweet little boy or a charming little girl that wants to be with it forever. Does the cold-blooded murder hurt any less when you envision the deadly bullet as a puppy? Then why are you dishonoring this child? Why are you dishonoring the 127 children in Chicago that have been murdered since just July? Why do you say that the community at large and the world, this child's life isn't worth our time? And this child's life doesn't matter. Because you sit in silence for years and years and years, letting the shooter, who is known to you, the killer of that beautiful, innocent baby, walk free, simply because you don't want to call an anonymous tip line. You don't want to be the one to help a grieving mother bury her dead baby. Ego is a sin. Putting yourself above God, deciding who is worthy of attention and who is worthy of life, is one of the most egregious sins against God you can ever commit in your lifetime. And yet, you do it every single day, that you don't call the police or call that anonymous tip line and say, John Washington Jr. shot the gun that killed Terrell Mays. End your sin in 2021, North Minneapolis. Repent and come back to Christ.